What's up, guys? Welcome back to the King Closer Reacts. I am the King Closer, RJ Bates III. This is the series. Well, I mean, you know what it is. I'm going to watch the videos. I'm going to disagree with everybody, and you're going to agree with me. That's the series. Let's get into our first video.
Today, whatever it is, stay committed. Do that hour every single day, or do that 2 or 3 hours every single day. Just taking that consistent action so that you can actually start getting deals, start changing your life. Because if you think about it, 3 or 4 deals in a year probably replaces your actual income right now. Our average deal is around 17 grand or so. So $17,000, and 3 or 4 of those, the average income is somewhere around 60 grand for a year for a whole household. So 3 or 4 deals actually replaces your income. So if that's true for you, take that consistent action to where you can start getting the deal. Eventually, you probably can get a deal a month. I mean, what would that do for you and your family and your mindset and your life in general? Just having money. Money is not everything, but money is necessary.
So I completely agree with this. I feel like consistency is one of the most important things that any entrepreneur can have, especially in the wholesaling industry, because the consistent actions will compound. And like he's saying, 3 to 4 deals a year would replace that income. But if you're consistent day in and day out, eventually you're going to start seeing deals that you were taking massive action on. Maybe it's a lead that you purchased 2-3 months ago, maybe even 6 months ago. Those start popping up. Sellers start following up with you. They start responding to your drip texts, follow-up voicemails, things like that. That's what really moves the needle for us as wholesalers. However, he's talking about the money that we can make. The issue is people are so used to making that weekly paycheck, and it's a whole different mindset shift to getting to a lump sum of $17,000 and then having to not immediately change our lifestyles or get overzealous about that victory that we have. And it's way different when you're getting that weekly paycheck, consistent income, that you're going to be taken care of, and we start panicking and we start fearing whether or not we're going to have that consistent income. We start looking at how much money do I have in my bank account and is it going to sustain? And we start failing inside of our processes when we're talking to sellers. And we refer to it as commission breath, where the seller can really feel that that deal is more important to us than it is them. And by nature, they are the motivated seller. And so don't fall victim to the fact that the income, the cash conversion cycle is different than it is inside of your W-2.
Do you have the guts to kick somebody out of their house? A lot of people, that's too hard of a pill to swallow. In fact, some of our investors, part of the reason why they are investors with us is so that they don't have to deal with the management side. They don't have to ever think about, oh, this single mom who hasn't paid needs to go. And so a lot of the compassion that you have for these people may make it difficult for you to manage it yourself. The other part to consider is what amount are you giving away from a financial perspective? That's a real big consideration. If you're only making $300 in cash flow and you give $250 of it away to a property management company, is it even worth it to do real estate investing? To really consider, understand your ability, because it's more than just collecting rent. Hey, thanks for watching. I got a free chapter.
As someone that has been and is currently a landlord, it is one of the most difficult decisions to make when someone can no longer pay the rent. You're going to hear their story, right? We refer to it on the entrepreneur side as excuse plus a story, right? Here's the reason why I can't pay you rent, and here's my story. Like he said, one of the most tragic stories will be a single mom where maybe they're having issues financially and they can't pay their rent. Unfortunately, we have to look at it as we have to protect ourselves. Our livelihood is on the line here, where our ability to pay the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, everything that comes along with owning that property, as well as that's how we also feed our own families. And quite frankly, a bank is a great example of this. A bank might offer forbearance on a mortgage payment, but eventually they're going to want their money. And it's the tenant's responsibility to pay their rent. And it is a complete mindset shift. And obviously, if you've ever posted anything on TikTok about being a landlord and non-paying tenants, you will know the majority of the world thinks that we are the scum of the earth, right? They think we are the worst human beings and we're taking advantage of people, but that's not the case. We are taking distressed properties, we are rehabbing them, making them livable again, increasing the property values, and then giving an opportunity for someone to have a place to rent, which if you cannot afford or in a position to buy a house, you rely on landlords. It's your responsibility at that point in time to pay your rent. And for someone that rented apartments and houses for years when I was working at Pizza Hut, no one ever gave me grace. And so it is one of those things as a landlord, you have to go in there and it has to be a business transaction. You really have to be able to remove your emotions from the transaction and take care of your family and your business first.
Commercial real estate is a very different beast than residential. Like, they're attorney drafted contracts. Commercial agents are not realtors. Don't have MLS. They don't have AAR contracts. They don't have lock boxes. Like, it's a completely different world. It's also a good old boys club. So they don't want anybody breaking into their market. You know, there's maybe 1,500 commercial agents in Arizona, but you know, they've got the relationships passed down from their fathers, or they've just been in the business for a really long time. Like, the demographic in commercial is all white males over 60. You know, someone like me at HomeSmart or West USA going and being like, hey, I'm representing this commercial buyer and they won't respond. They don't want to share a co-broke with people, let alone someone at a residential brokerage that doesn't know what they're doing.
So the solution to that was start your own brokerage.
Right. Commercial real estate is a very different.
So I believe, you know, she's speaking from the commercial broker side of things, but even on the investment side of things, it is a good old boys club. And quite frankly, she you know, kind of loosely spoke about, you know, the majority of the commercial brokers in Arizona are white males over 60. Well, I think you could also say that about the majority of real estate investing in general. It can feel like it's a good old boys club to a certain degree. This is part of the reason why I've always chosen to stay in my lane with residential real estate. It's where we got our start and we found success in it. And of course, there's always there's more money. You're just adding on some zeros and a little bit of extra time, but there's so much more money that you can make in the commercial side. But the relationship of the commercial aspect of real estate is so important, and it does take that to get really your foot inside the door. So I agree with what she's saying. It's one of the many reasons why we've stayed in single family. And honestly, I respect someone like her going out and trying to kick the door down and saying, hey, if it's only going to be white males over 60, I'm going to go out, I'm going to start my own brokerage, I'm going to go develop relationships with the clients, and I'm going to go start my own thing. Kudos to her.
What is your worst bias about women in real estate?
I don't. So okay. There's another caveat here. One of my partners is a woman.
Yes.
But she's not wired like most women. Generally speaking, the bias would be like women are emotional, or, you know, they're not going to be as savage as they need to be when push comes to shove. But that's just not true in our office, because I'm kind of the pushover and Lindsay is the savage one in our office. So I don't see it that way, but I do know that that's like the bias. It's like, oh, she's not going to negotiate hard against me, or, you know, you just kind of like feel like you have an advantage. But I don't know that. I know that that's not true because I get destroyed in the office all the time.
What is your worst bias?
So obviously, as someone that has a female business partner in Cassie, I completely agree with what Adam's talking about right there. The bias against women is, yes, they're more emotional. Sometimes they don't receive the immediate respect. You know, you get the whole sayings, you know, what's your role in the company? Are you actually a partner? Oh, you're not an actual owner of Titanium. You must just be RJ's wife. You must just be having sex with RJ, right? That's why you have this role. That's always the assumptions. And it's like, no, she's been here since day one. Like, brother, she's the one you don't want to deal with. Just like Adam's saying, she's the savage. She'll own your ass, right? I'm the pushover. So it is funny that that's the natural assumption. I will also say that's normally the assumption from other men. The women do give Cassie respect. In fact, they love the fact that she's been able to sustain success in this industry, and they look at it from a lens of appreciation and respect. And it's funny because what do men desire more than anything in this world? It's respect. But we very rarely give that respect out to women. Why is that the case? I'd love to see that change. I love the women that we have inside of Titanium University. I think they're amazing at what they're able to accomplish because I've seen some of the barriers to entry that this industry gives, but I've also seen that the natural superpower that they have, where they can connect with more people easier than men. They do have a different lens that they look at, and they understand things better. And quite frankly, I think they also will stick to their ethics and their morals better than most men. They'll look at things, and that's why Cassie's such a great negotiator, and it's been amazing to have her on my team to be able to say, hey, maybe we can bend this rule that we set for ourselves. And she'll say, no, that's not how we do things, and we're going to stick to the way that we do things for a reason. So the bias against women, I agree with Adam, but I don't think it's really a founded bias.
13th thou wow. 13th thou wow. And then after you hit sign, just go ahead and hit finish.
Okay, you should have it.
I'll go ahead and refresh on my end. Bingo. Everything is signed on my end. I want to say congratulations for the sale of your property. Moving forward, I'll go ahead and text you over the address to send that key to. I'm going to go ahead and send this over to the title company. There's 2 title companies I will be choosing between. I'll let you know which one I go with. I'm really going to go with the one that has the cheapest closing fees for me. And they will be reaching out to you first thing in the morning. Is this a good number to reach out to you at?
Thank you, Rory. You have a good evening.
You too, brother. Have a great day. 13th thou wow. 13th thou wow. You got this property for $25,000. The ARV on this property is $65,000. Times 0.75, that leaves you around 48. 48 minus 10,000. He says the property is okay. Never trust your seller. Minus 10,000, leaving me at 38,000. 13th thou wow.
All right, first of all, I love this guy's personality, okay? He's been on here multiple times. All of his videos are great. Clearly closed the deal. I mean, his title is Roy the Closer, right? I don't love how he came up with his offer price, right? 75% of ARV minus repairs. And then where's his assignment fee? How does he make $13,000 on that? So he got it for $25,000. He's selling for $38,000. That's how he's getting there. Again, 75% of ARV, that's a little tight in most areas. I'm wondering if Roy is a local wholesaler and he just knows that's where his end buyers. Personally, for me as a virtual wholesaler, I would never run things like that, especially in that price point. Depending on what state this is in, I would definitely want to look at the as-is comps, see where the end buyers are buying. I do agree with the assessment of, he says the property is in great condition or good condition. Don't take that don't take the seller's word for it. $10,000 though goes so fast if you're doing anything to a property, right? That's like flooring and paint. That's it. So I don't love the underwriting of that, but overall, personality, content, love it, Roy. Keep pumping it out. I'm sure we'll see you on here on future reels. Just guys, comping and underwriting. Got to be careful on it. All right. That's our episode of The King Closer Reacts. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, show me some love, like the video. Let me know which one was your favorite one. And if you agree or disagree with my takes, we'll see you guys tomorrow.